And here I am, my lovely viewers, after finally finishing the game with all collectibles found and delivered, every power unlocked in that playthrough. And aside from XP with little bit of backstory dialogue, it is worthless. Without further ado, my messy thoughts part 2 and probably final one. Oh, before I forget, I need to remind you all, these are my personal takes, nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to like it or agree with it, let's go. Every time I saw Sleep at Your Haven objective, I dread to go through it, because I know there is going to be a dream sequence which I am right every time. Unfortunately, his sections drag on so much. It could easily told in a much faster fashion, but no, you have to go through the streets like a pinball would. Luckily, there is a fast-forward system. See how the world goes by, and those noodle legs movements. You are going to see that a lot. And because of how the Fabian section's handled, it break the pacing. It is literally walking simulator with some dialogues and powers used related to that. I admit, there were times that some of it looked interesting. Seeing years go backward, layer beneath layer. Even Fabian making comment about something he realized in his future self while switching to 1940s. Slipping out some words, making his past self confused, and others think he is blabbering. Nice touch about Malkavian network. There were also several occasions where he showed his fish milk talk, but most of it fell flat. Does any of the choices in these sections change anything for Nomad? No, I don't think so. Is it on rail? Absolutely. Since we are on the topic on rail, combat parts are mandatory. You cannot sneak past through, and I think a certain thing became a signature in the game. Chains with huge lock hanging. If you didn't kill anyone, tough luck. Enemies nearby get shown every time you get close to it. More annoying thing is you cannot progress even if there is no lock because script doesn't trigger unless you handle the enemies first. What else? I started my modding mid-game, which isn't a good sign. I did one to improve performance and it really worked, but there are still some stutters happening, albeit less than before. Another one was a cosmetic mod, and last one is an XP mod to change how much I get from doing quests, but I still grind those blood resonance points. By the way, it would be better to unlock those passive skills, the ones on the top, as soon as possible, like Fleetness that make relocate abilities recharge over time. Blood of Potency, making feeding recharge an additional blood pip for a random ability which is really useful, and Resilience, which increases the amount of health restored by feeding. Just my picks. All of these will be shown after clan contracts unlocked in the story. Another thing to note about is potions. Before big fights, game usually provides decent amount of it, so it got you covered for a while. And since the game is melee focused, those potions become more important since melee can feel weak without those. Especially after mid-game. Sure, you have disciplines and telekinesis, but wish there was a passive skill to improve it. Maybe other clans have more strength compared to Tremere? Aside from animation change, I mean, it feels weird that thin blood enemies become sponges. Next, enemies getting stuck under the map, which happened several times. Thank God it only happened at non-important parts of the game or in a reachable way. It was really annoying. On a maybe positive note, they kept the cameo of you-know-who. I am using maybe because it didn't felt that effective to me. I felt drained toward last parts of the game, and that might be the reason, possibly. About last boss, it felt like a chore and boring. And the upcoming scene after that, I couldn't take it seriously at all. Maybe the delivery of the line? Maybe the words? Maybe the scene representation itself? Too much maybes, I know, dear viewers, but to me it is what it is. Although, to be fair, there were scenes or levels in the game that was cool, but only for a minute or so. Novelty wearing off real quick. I finished the game as Tremere and started as Ventru this time to see if you keep anything from your past unlocks. You don't, at all, aside from clan marks popping inside your Haven's wall. You cannot skip Fabian parts completely. I know there is a skip cutscene option on the menu, but it is the same one from your first playthrough. You cannot even skip some of the lines, which I've just noticed now. World feels devoid aside from those blood resonance. You cannot talk to important NPCs aside from scripted events. I don't mean clan contracts. Also, Tali the Nosferatu. Where to begin? Is there really anyone liking this kind of behavior, dear viewers? Honestly, share your thoughts in a civilized manner in the comments. Personally, he is an annoying prick. Gets on my nerve every time he talks. He is probably written that way to appeal certain group. And something to add about patience. It seems character is a they. It always reminded me that comedian joke. Wait, how many are there? Seriously, people drop this nonsense. I don't think people from future will look back at these in positive light, only as a tasteless jokes. You are not being respectful to anything if that is your reasoning. Hell if I know. And while at it, is it too hard to add a woman clothing option to the character? Anyway, my personal nitpick. Now, is game any good? Is it a Bloodlines game? Nope. Should you buy it at full price? No, I don't think so. I pre-order it back in 2019 and compared to now, it was a cheap buy. Full package too. Oh right. I am not thrilled to play those 2 packs that is going to be released next year because I am not interested in those 2 characters at all. Those 2 are afterthought DLC because of the massive backlash they received. And since it is a product, they need to sell something. We will see what future holds for the series. I want to underline this. This game has some nice ideas sprinkled in it, and it can be easily used as a stepping stone for the Bloodlines 3 if there will be one someday. Boiling someone's blood, then feed on it to get the same effect on you. Nice detail. Anyway, thanks for listening my rambling about the game, especially if you watch this far. I did warn you it is going to be a messy one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, dear viewers. Most importantly, have a nice day.